Hello beautiful people, Robin Thomas here, also known as Braids by Ra. Welcome back to my channel. Alrighty, so today is week 5 of our protective styling one-on-one, where you and I sit down, we talk and discuss everything about protective styles. This week we are talking about Faux and Goddess Locs. Y'all, when I say they are the ultimate protective style, if you are interested in what I have to say about Faux and Goddess Locs, stay tuned. Okay, so Faux locks and Goddess Locs to me are like the ultimate protective style. Like, y'all, it is the ultimate protective style, and it's the ultimate protective style because none of your hair is exposed. Just imagine you are moisturizing your hair all nice and good, you know what I'm saying? You got all this moisture in, however you like to prep your hair before your protective style, deep conditioning, you doing your LOC or your LCO method or your LO or your LC method, whatever method you like to use to retain moisture in your hair, and you braid your hair down or you twist it up depending on whatever type of base you like to have, and then you wrap it. And you wrap it, and you wrap it up. None of your hair is exposed. Oh my gosh. They are the ultimate. When I say ultimate, I mean ultimate protective style. Okay, so first things first, Goddess Locs and Faux locks resemble regular locks. The only difference between Goddess Locs and Faux locks are the ends of each. A faux lock will resemble a lock even more than a Goddess Loc, because a Goddess Loc will have a curly end as opposed to a faux lock that has a blunt end with no type of curls or no type of waves. When installing, your base can either be installed 2 different ways. You can either start it with a box braid base, or you can install it with a twist base. There are so many different types of hair you can choose for your faux and your Goddess Locs. When it comes to your Goddess Locs, you want to make sure that your base hair, the hair that you're using for your base, has some type of curl or wave. It is totally up to you depending on how loose or how tight you want that hair to be at your ends. The type of hair that you choose for your install depends on how your hair is going to come out in the end. There are so many different types of hair that you can use. Some people use curly, some people use Marley hair, some people use connecticut hair, some people use human hair. There are many websites that are out there that sell a package of hair for Goddess Locs or for Faux locks. When figuring out how you want your end result of your hair, that is going to help you determine what type of hair that you need to buy. So it's really good to go ahead and do research on it, because there are so many options available and so many end outcomes just depending on the type of hair that you choose to put in for your install. A couple of tips that I did want to go ahead and give when it comes to installing Faux and Goddess Locs is to make sure that you are not putting too much hair in your head. Remember, our goal is for our protective styles to protect. We don't want the hair to be weighed down. And also, as you're installing, if you put too much hair in, it can really cause a lot of tension. So be mindful of how much hair you put in your base, especially because you're going to have to use a certain amount of hair to make sure that your base is wrapped up completely. Always make sure that your base is not too thick, because whatever your base is, whenever you begin to wrap your hair, most of the times it'll be twice as big. So just be mindful of that whenever you're getting you're installing your Faux or Goddess Locs. Another tip when it comes to installing your Faux or Goddess Locs is to check the length of your hair. You want to make sure you go down at least another inch from where your hair stops. You do not want to confuse your hair inside while you're wrapping it. And also, when it comes to taking down, you can just cut the ends, and that way you're for sure that your hair isn't being cut. As stated with all protective styles, you want to make sure that you leave your hair free for the first 1 or 2 weeks. When it actually comes to Faux locks, I personally believe you probably should wait about 2 weeks, because it's like a double process. and there is going to be a lot of tension. It's going to be really stiff whenever you first get your hair installed. So just be really mindful of that. And actually, let me go ahead and say this. Depending on who you get your hair done by, some people are really lightweight and know how to do it really well where there isn't a lot of tension added. There's always going to be tension added because it is a very fresh style. You know, you're not going to have that much mobility because your roots are, you don't have any new growth coming out of your roots. So just really be mindful of that, depending on who you get your hair done by. The beautiful thing about Faux and Goddess Locs is you really can play with color. Unlike twist and box braids, and they've actually come out with methods to where they can tuck in your hair if you're using a different color hair. But the thing about Faux Locs is you don't have to worry about that because all of your hair is tucked away. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, Faux and Goddess Locs are like the ultimate protective style. Now, a con when it comes to Goddess Locs and Faux Locs is it can be on the pricey side. There are two reasons why Faux and Goddess Locs are on the pricey side. The first reason is it takes a very long time to do because it is a double process. The person that's installing, whether it is you or somebody else, is either starting with a box braid or a Senegalese or Marley twist, and then they're going back and re-wrapping or wrapping around the base of that hair. Now, your base may not be twisted or braided all the way down to the very end. That is still a long time, you know, when it comes to installing your hair. Now, the other reason why it is on the pricey side is because there are some people where it doesn't take long at all. So you're not only paying for the style, but you're paying for a fast-paced service, not having to sit in the chair for that long of a time because that person is really fast at doing that install, the Faux Loc and the Goddess Loc install. So those are the two reasons why it can be a little pricey when it comes to Faux Loc and Goddess Loc installations. Y'all, these are the ultimate protective style. Thank you all so much for tuning in with me this week talking about Faux and Goddess Locs. I hope the information I gave to you all was helpful in deciding if Faux and Goddess Locs is a style, the protective style that you would like to try. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them below. I'll be sure to get back to you as soon as possible. This week was week 5. Next week, I'm going to take a break and we're going to come back the following week. I'm going on a little vacation, okay? But I'm going to come back the following week and we're going to talk about micro braids. If you have any questions about those, go ahead and leave them below. And I'll be sure to answer those in the video in 2 weeks. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you have not, go ahead and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any other uploads I have. Like I said, this is week 5 and I do have 4 other weeks talking about other protective styles, the benefits, the pros and cons and things like that. So go ahead and check those out. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Until next time, peace and blessings.